Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's time to continue our exploration of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, specifically Season 1, Episode 2, Children of the Comet. Great show so far, friends. Great show. Again, I'm learning as much as I can about Star Trek, filling in all the gaps. I've seen a few episodes of Strange New Worlds, but had zero context for it. Time to change all that and truly appreciate this series for what it is. Before we get started, though, friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. You'll be alerted next time we go live with Strange New Worlds or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to the Patreon is in the description. Not a fan of Patreon? No problem. Stick with us here on YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes about a day early, plus any bonus episodes we come up with. But friends, all that's then, and this is now. And now it's time for Season 1, Episode 2 of Strange New Worlds, Children of the Comet. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! Love watching shows with y'all, friends. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I love watching shows with y'all.
Lieutenant La'an Noonien Singh, Chief of Security.
I need more in La'an.
We explore. We seek out new life and new civilizations. We boldly go where no one has gone before.
We explore. That's my favorite Star Trek. We explore. Love it. Oh my gosh, incredible design.
The Enterprise is surveying the Persephone system, where the crew is studying the behavior of an ancient comet, C-2260 Quentin.
Oh, wow.
Except, of course, for a recent invitation to dinner at the captain's cabin, for which I have been encouraged by Lieutenant Ortegas to dust off my dress uniform.
Oh shit, I love those dresses.
You said it was formal.
Actually, what I said was you might want to wear your dress uniform.
Are you kidding?
Oh, that sucks.
Going back to change.
You do not want to be late to the captain's table.
I like the cadet badges with the square around them.
Consider it your first complete square in Enterprise Bingo.
You know about that.
I was a cadet once too, cadet.
This is cool. Enterprise bingo. Is that a thing or just a joke? I wonder.
How do I put this? My father liked to say that I was unburdened by conversational boundaries.
Nice.
So this will be fun for you then.
It's a good thing you're a comms officer. Seems like you were made for this.
Lieutenant Ortegas, Cadet Uhura, welcome. Grab a drink, I gotta deal with the ribs.
Ortegas!
Oh, that was such a good laugh. Man, look at this spread. If I was Kirk, I'd be pissed. I was like, where's this shit when I get here?
A human in my condition might consider themselves impaired.
Hemmer may not be able to see, but his other senses compensate.
Compensate? They are superior.
Nah.
Does the Enar have a form of precognitive ability?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Because you sensed my question before I asked it?
Because everyone always asks that.
Right.
You telegraphed your throw telepathically.
As was my intention.
I love that.
This is a hazing thing, isn't it? You guys are screwing around?
Does Spock screw around?
I like her.
Indeed.
Indeed.
I've tripped on his pants. So anyway, after my lieutenant pulls me aside and says, maybe security isn't the best fit.
That's why it's funny.
Because it breaks a social expectation.
Sometimes, Mr. Spock, things go so badly,
You have to.
you just have to laugh.
Yep. Oh, that's gonna come back. If things go so badly, you have to laugh.
You know, the Enterprise only gets a handful of cadets a year from Starfleet. You gotta be pretty impressive to make the cut.
Thank you, sir.
I hear you speak 12 languages.
37.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's best to communicate in someone's own tongue. So I learned them.
Easy as that.
Easy as that.
I'm sure you've chosen a specialty you'd like. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself?
Are you asking me what I
Ooh,
want
that was good. God, that brought a tear to my eye. Ensign Mount.
The truth is, I'm not sure I'm actually all that Starfleet.
Really?
That's not something I've ever heard from a cadet.
At the captain's table.
Beat out how many? 1,000 applicants?
Several thousand.
Wow.
About a week before I was due to start, they were killed in a shuttle accident.
Really? Oh my God.
I moved in with my grandmother, but I just... Anyway, she was in Starfleet when she was young, and she always used to talk about it, and, well, I didn't know what else to do.
Oh, your grandmother was in Starfleet.
That is an impressive and heartbreaking story, Cadet.
Oh,
That's me.
impressive and heartbreaking.
And I sincerely hope you discover a place where you feel you do fit. Wherever that may be.
Damn, I really like his captaining style. His leadership style is really good.
And Starfleet has been a lifelong dream for many, myself included. If it is not your path, you might consider making way for...
Don't steal it from somebody else. Okay, so a statement like that could be twofold. It's a test to see if she pushes her to act or pushes her to defend.
Dusty Swender, Tequil Dawn, Malik Alcazar, Yuito Hoshida, Andrea Lopez. I could keep going. These are the kids I save when it happens.
Oh my God.
Lately, I've been saying them over and over again. Like a reminder, stay the course, save their lives.
Ugh,
I refuse to believe there isn't another way.
I'm with you.
Bridge. There is a problem with the Comet.
Problem with the Comet. Oh, okay.
Persephone 3 is an M-class world. Previous surveys suggest it is home to an intelligent, pre-warp species that call themselves the Deleb.
Deleb?
The Deleb can't move the Comet. So we move it for him?
Mr. Spock.
Is this Prime Directive shit?
We could use photon torpedoes as launch vehicles. Take about an hour for the retrofit.
Rosy assessment, considering I'll be the one doing the retrofitting.
Rosy assessment. I want to see, I need to see Pike in like a fight. Does that thing have shields?
Anyone want to tell me how a comet puts up a force field?
Oh shit. All right, here we go. I love it. Captain Pike is telling us about the final frontier. We got a chance to talk and look at this beauty rendered in stunning CGI. I'm not dogging it whatsoever. I love the original NCC 1701 in all of its incarnations. And this is a beauty, man. They really did her well. I'll always love the TOS one the best, but she looks pretty sharp here. The space looks pretty sharp. They look at these shots. They do an incredible job of really making space spectacular. Like, hey everybody, you might have forgotten that space is pretty dope. Let's remind you. And they really go out of their way to just make it wondrous. I know, like, for many of you, I'm sure it was for me as it was for many of you, when we grew up, I mean, space was it, you know. A lot of generations were just enamored with anything space related. We should get back to that, become explorers again.
But we did find a structure.
Can you penetrate the shields?
The structure suggests alien intelligence.
Which is why I've asked Sam Kirk of Xenoanthropology here to join us.
Hey, Sam.
Maybe it's not a comet at all, but some kind of...
Habitat?
It's got shields.
These shields are not constant. They only appear in response to a threat. It should be possible to beam to the surface without triggering them.
Possible.
La'an, you, Spock, and Sam get suited up, and this is the cadet's first away mission. You wanted to learn to speak alien languages. Go where the aliens are.
Nice.
Comet is bombarded by ridiculously high levels of cosmic rays. This will buy you 2 hours.
Oh boy.
Weapon up, people.
I love how La'an doesn't even flinch.
Now you're just toying with me.
That was not my intention.
I've noticed.
Heads up.
They have something, right? Because I saw that in Those Old Scientists. I'm looking forward to that shit. It's like right stuff moment right here. I really like the idea of telling the story through Uhura's eyes, because having her as our narrator for this one, you know, a cadet view of like an away mission of a typical, not typical, but...
Energize, Mr. Kyle.
Take us down, Mr. Kyle. Oh my God, I'm right there with you, Uhura. I hate space shit. One of my favorite reactors says that they love space shit. And I love them, but I disagree.
You good?
Yeah. I'm standing on the surface of a comet.
I love watching people love space shit. How's that? I would be space shitting myself if I was in there right now. Man, awesome shit. What a world, friends, that we get to explore with Star Trek. What a world. That's a sphere.
According to my readings, there is breathable atmosphere inside the chamber.
What?
We should make sure it's secure. Lieutenant Spock, you scan the room. I'll do perimeter sweep.
Having a security officer in my book is very important for a show, and I wish that the original series had a constant one.
It's just
You're a cadet. It's your first away mission. I get it. But you're here for a reason.
Love it. Really like the design of these spacesuits too. These EV suits are awesome.
they repeat in the sequence.
Sequence, huh? Maybe a code?
I don't know.
Mathematical equation?
Just everything seems to point to this egg.
Well, it's not have it hatch or anything.
Lieutenant, I don't think that's a good idea.
Careful there, Kirk.
Yahtzee.
You got a little of your brother in you.
But I am reading a dangerous buildup of energy. Please step away from the egg.
Turn him over. Get his helmet off.
Get his helmet off.
It's hard to stop. We need to get him to the ship.
Oh my God. We know he's going to be okay, but...
Lieutenant Kirk has been injured. Beamer's out.
Having trouble getting a lock.
Why? If you could beam him down, you could beam him back. Oh my God. You're like just talking to somebody. Come on, Kyle.
In the force field. It's back up.
There was no threat, though. Why would it come back up?
He's stable, for now.
All
Nice
frequencies are
job.
down. We're cut off from the ship.
Yeah, but come on, you all. The incredibly capable officers here. Let's figure this shit out.
Maybe we don't touch anything else. Just a suggestion.
He will not survive without prompt medical attention.
Oh my God.
Seems that force field is back.
It appears the Comet wishes to keep us here.
What kind of comet knows someone's walking on it?
The kind that's not a comet.
But the key to our escape may well be in these markings all around us. And you are the only linguistics expert here.
Wow. No pressure. I really like this narrative thread for what they call the Deleb. It's going to be them looking at the comet getting closer, isn't it? Oh, my word. I love the wrappings. It almost looks like barnacles or something.
A phaser at a higher frequency could cause resonance.
The right frequency could shatter it.
All right. That's good.
I like this plan. This is a good plan. We'll take us, bring us around.
I'm liking his command style. I'm just wondering, Kirk just makes this democratic stuff's neat and all, but I'm wondering like heat of the moment. And I'm sure he's going to be great, but I'm curious to see what Pike can do.
Pretending not to be in way over my head. Too honest?
I am a Vulcan. We are too honest by nature.
Your girlfriend must love that, huh? Nurse Chapel.
Nurse Chapel is not my girlfriend.
Oh.
Do you not think this is an inappropriate time for jokes?
It's the best time
It's
for
like
jokes.
the captain said. Sometimes things go so badly, you just have to laugh.
Gallows humor.
I find the best way to diffuse tension is to apply rigorous logic.
That's one approach. I'm liking this episode, friends. This is the type of stuff that I like. Experts doing expert shit, a problem, you know, something I haven't seen. I love it.
Incoming weapons fire.
Incoming weapons fire?
To port nacelle, shields holding at 70%.
Who hit us?
Who hit you for 30% of your shields? What in the abs? Where the f did they come from? That is a massive ship.
This is Captain Christopher Pike of the Federation Starship Enterprise. Who are you and why are you attacking our vessel?
We are the Shepherds.
Shepherds.
The Hanit is far more than a comet.
Hanit.
He's one of the ancient arbiters of life.
Okay.
If you tamper with it again, we will not hesitate to destroy you.
Really? So they like, it's like a god to them?
What kind of weapons are we dealing with?
They're way out of your league, dude. 30% one shot?
There are millions of people on that planet. The impact will kill them all and likely blow your comet, blow your Mahanit into just as many pieces.
Mahanit, okay.
Then please entertain the proposition that Muhanit is not, as you continue to call him, a comet.
Him? Like a capital H?
If it is his will to move, he will move. If it is his will to bring life, he will bring life. It is preordained.
Blowing up a planet full of people is not preordained.
You said you were a reasonable man, Captain.
Oh.
My people have been charged with the protection of the Arbiters. None of us even remember when the charge first came to us.
This is kind of cool.
The systems are incredibly advanced. Their ships faster than ours, and their weapon systems.
Let's just say we don't want to piss them off.
Yeah, I mean, one shot does 30%.
We'd do the same for you if you were in danger.
You say you don't interfere, that you mean no disrespect. But your crew has desecrated the temple on his surface.
Oops.
Mahanit will be their tomb. Any further action to rescue them will be considered an act of war.
Oh boy.
Find a way to get through to the landing party right now. Break the laws of physics if you have to.
The problem is the people that could figure this out are on the Comet. And by people, I mean Spock.
You gonna get us out of here or get us killed?
Right now, I'd say it's pretty much a toss-up.
I mean, maybe a little bit more support, La'an.
May I remind you that circumstances are less dire than they were. Mr. Kirk identified one error you can avoid. By eliminating that option, he has improved your odds.
Not significantly, but sure.
Was that actually your version of a pep talk?
Yes, I've been working on them.
Yes.
Like you said, I'm not even supposed to be here.
That's not precisely
You all should be relying on someone who's prepared. Someone actually Starfleet, not someone who's going to get us all fried to a crisp.
You're the best to be here.
May I assume it is also the first time your life has been in danger?
Yes. Kind of.
Kind of.
You did not intend on being here, but you are here. Hypotheticals are irrelevant. Today, you are quite simply the only person for the job.
Yep.
Will you rise to see it through?
Nice.
That one was better.
That one was better. Nice.
Your pep talk, I mean.
He noted that. What did I do differently? Nice. Okay. I'll put that into my pep selection.
Cadet.
It
The
brightened.
cave seems to be reacting to your voice.
It brightened. It definitely brightened. It's not a mathematical equation. It's a song.
Music.
Yeah, baby. Those symbols, yep.
Nothing from the landing party, but I found a possible signal coming from the comet itself.
What kind of signal?
Sounds like a weirded out whale song.
Computer, identify this song.
Vamo Vamba, a traditional song from Earth, originating in Kenya.
It's singing with her. This is cool.
Music is just sound waves, which can be represented by numbers. What if the code is harmonics?
Someone help me out here. I skipped music class.
She's working it.
That's the 2 in our code.
Triple the frequency and you get a perfect fifth. 5 times the frequency is a major third.
I don't know. I'm tone deaf, but I love everything that has to do with music.
Musical notes are easily derived from math. Vulcans theorize it is their fundamental nature which makes them pleasing to the ear.
That's why Vulcans play music, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Try and follow my lead. Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, 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 bum.
It's 1,000 times better than I could do, Spock.
Bum, 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 bum.
So envious of people that can sing. God gave me 2 notes, flat and sharp. Oh,
We're definitely getting closer to resolving the whole genius or about to get us killed conundrum.
So the right time for genius.
Remember, that thing shocked the absolute shit out of Kirk. Cool camera shot.
The Comet's force field just disappeared.
Beam him back.
Transporter room, energize.
We got him.
I love that. Her coming running in.
Captain, Shepherds are hailing us.
Of course they are. You didn't say we couldn't beam him off.
You continue to interfere.
Well, technically...
You were warned.
Look, let's talk about this. Find some common ground.
Oh, shit.
They're launching torpedoes, Captain. I'm reading 3 inbound.
Well, we definitely pissed them off.
Brace for impact.
I would immediately put the Comet in between me and that ship. If they want us, they're going to have to shoot the Comet, or its shield would protect you.
They are pursuing.
Return fire?
Negative. Escape pattern April Omega-3.
Nice.
Facing off with them is suicide. We're outgunned here.
She's right. Their ship is too advanced for us to take on.
Shields at 40%.
Sir.
Jesus.
Give me phasers. Target their weapons and propulsion systems. We don't want to hurt.
You're not going to hurt them.
And... fire.
You're not getting through their shields. Oh, I stand corrected.
Direct hit. They're pulling away to regroup. I'd say we have less than a minute.
We have to save that planet.
What if the Comet moved itself?
What? This thing's gonna destroy you.
You know how you used to brag you're going to be the best pilot ever to graduate the academy? Word gets around.
What's your point, sir?
It's time to prove that
it,
shit.
Lieutenant.
Yep, time to prove that shit.
Initiating evasive pattern Ortegas Gamma 1.
Ortegas. I'm taking hits, though. Jeez. Damn it.
Shepherds are in pursuit.
They can't shoot. If they miss, they're going to hit it. They're going to have to stop. Or they're going to kill you. They can't shoot. If they miss, they're going to hit the Comet, and they're going to take a hell of a beating in here.
They've stopped firing.
They don't want to hit the Comet.
That's right, baby.
I think they're hailing us. Yeah, they are, Captain.
Not yet.
Not yet. Stay close to it.
Reversing thrusters. And...
stop. Ops, shut down all systems except for life support.
You going dark? What are you playing out here?
The damage we've sustained has caused complete systems failure.
And what if we choose not to accept your surrender?
Well, if you don't help us, we'll collide with the Comet, which will destroy our ship. Please help us. I give you my word, we will not touch Mahani again.
Okay. It's still gonna crash it.
Mr. Spock, you're up.
Acknowledged, Captain.
What are you doing, Spock? Look at this shit.
Shields radiating heat at maximum intensity.
So, are they gonna just immediately attack you when they figure out what you're doing here? You're destroying it? Well, you're in deep shit, man.
Maintaining position. Preparing to engage heat shields.
I don't really understand what's going on here. The shields, the red on the incoming stuff is really cool. This is super dangerous.
It's moving. The sublimation is nudging the Comet off course.
And for the record, we're not actually touching it.
Really?
Spock? Is everything okay?
Fine, Captain. Sometimes things go so badly, you just have to laugh.
Oh, I love it. Look at it. You see it skate across the atmosphere? My God, how close.
A large quantity of water vapor from the Comet is entering the planet's atmosphere.
If I'm not mistaken, this will permanently change the atmospheric composition of Persephone 3.
Oh, no.
Planet's aridity will make it more amenable to plant growth, agriculture, and, one might surmise, societal development.
Life.
Did it actually bring life?
Oh, wow.
Captain,
Oh,
shepherds are hailing
wow.
us.
Open a channel on screen, please, Ensign.
Did they really move the comet then?
You're right. We witnessed a miracle.
Perhaps in the future, you will not be so quick to judge the faith of others.
That was cool. But now I'm curious. I wonder if what they did moved it or if it moved itself. Oh, shit. Oh, life just got a whole lot easier, it looks like. I like to think it moved itself. That's what I'm my personal headcanon.
Who made the comet? How many more like it are out there?
There's a bunch of arbiters, they said.
Was it coincidence that fostered the chance for more life on Persephone 3?
Design.
This is a star chart showing the comet's course. Course that includes it moving past Persephone 3.
You were suggesting the comet was telling us it did not intend to hit Persephone 3.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You're saying the comet sent this message before Spock was able to correct the comet's course?
We recorded it hours earlier.
Oh, wow.
Unless your flight was foretold.
You're suggesting the comet had foreknowledge of future events?
Had to have.
And its, I don't know, mission to seed that planet was predicated on you flying that shuttle to move it.
You were part of the equation.
As I said, many dream of being worthy of Starfleet, of representing its values of selflessness, courage, sacrifice.
I know it shouldn't have been me down
I have
there.
not finished, Cadet.
Oh, no, this is a different talk.
But having observed your actions on the comet, I'm certain, should you choose to, Starfleet would be fortunate to have an officer like you.
Ah, the praise from a Vulcan is profound indeed. Really good episode. Really, really good episode.
So just because you receive a message from the future doesn't mean you understand it.
We're not talking about the comet anymore, are we?
You are not.
What if you got that message so you could save those kids and that's it? What if you don't have to ruin your life too? How do you know you can't make a different choice? What if your fate is what you make it?
Dusty Swinder.
The kids.
Tequil Dawn.
Oh.
Ulik Alcazar. Yuuto Hoshida. Andrea Lopez.
Wow, that was good. In part, tear to my eye. I like that quite a bit, friends. All right, everybody, we just got done watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 1, Episode 2, Children of the Comet. And the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, my friends, we just got done watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 1, Episode 2, Children of the Comet. Boy, you know, it's hard not to like what you see in this show, and I'm not saying that I'm a tough sell for this show at all. You know, the experiences I've had with it so far have been very positive, and the acting has been really good. I think that, you know, the story-wise, for me, this is like the wheelhouse type of stories that I absolutely love. I love, you know, having a problem, having the whole crew work on it, you know, having people really show off what they're good at. You know, in this particular instance, we really got to see Uhura shine here. I would even say that you got to see some like additional information as far as like accolades, or not accolades, but, you know, we got to see Pike in action a little bit, which I liked, kind of like the democratic process that he had. And I did get to see him sort of like in the chair making decisions without input, you know, as far as just giving like Ortega's coordinates and things like that. It was very interesting. I really like the parallel between Mohanit, the Comet, and Pike, you know, as far as, you know, if you know your fate, that doesn't necessarily mean you know your fate, you know, and I like that. Unfortunately, we do know his fate, and that, you know, he ends up in the chair. But again, I think that they leave the door wide open for, and I know this because of the Q&As that I did for the original series when I was doing the Cage and Menagerie, you know, because inadvertently when you're looking up stuff like that, you see, you know, the references to Christopher Pike. And spoiler alert, I mean, I'm not spoiling too much since the show Strange New Worlds is addressing it itself, but, you know, Pike suffers this terrible accident, and then he gets put inside what is essentially sort of a life support like wheelchair, hover chair type of thing, where he can't even speak and he's reduced to like, a binary, like flashing light sequence for communication. But we do know that, through the events of, I don't want to completely ruin everything, through the events of everything that transpires in the original series, he is returned to a planet that they had gone to earlier, and his fate is sort of nebulous at that point. And not by nebulous as to what happens when he gets on the planet. If you've seen it, you know what happens when he gets there. But from my research for the menagerie and for the cage, it basically says at that point, Pike's history inside, with the exception of like newer entries, Pike's history inside like the original series is gone. He's not mentioned anymore. And so that's not necessarily to say that, Pike is gone. I was always under the impression that, I wonder if there is a way that he can fulfill that we can. Long story short, I just had this thing, your fate is what you make it. Okay. I wonder if there's a way that they can maintain the canon of the original series and maybe give Pike a happier ending. I mean, I think it's very possible considering where he ended up, all of the things that we've seen since in the original series. I often, when we're watching the original series, either I say something or I get comments on YouTube where people are like, hey, you know what? This would be a great set of, this might help Chris, Pike, if we find like a new technology or something. So, there's a lot of stuff going on that could continue Pike's. I'm not saying that that's what happens either. And I'm not saying that I necessarily want that to happen, but I'm just saying that if the creatives inside of Strange New Worlds sort of want to maybe add to Pike's story a little bit, the door was left open by the original team from the original series. Pike's kind of fate was not written in stone. We don't know exactly what happens to him. So I like the idea that they can play with those edges a little bit without, shitting on the original series, which I absolutely love. So far, so good. You know what I mean? I looking at this, I know that there's kind of like, and again, I don't want to step on anybody's toes or yuck anybody's yum, but I know there's a sort of a debate between some of these newer offerings. I'll be very honest. Discovery, I was not, season 1 had its moments. But I wasn't like, oh my God, I got to see this. Hence, I haven't seen seasons 3, 4, or 5 of Discovery. That's not to say that I dislike it. I guess I don't like it enough to have continued it. Maybe that's the fairest way to say it. But now when I saw season 2 of Discovery, I was very intrigued because of the introduction of Pike's character. I thought Pike was, exceptionally, he was season 2. He and Spock's relationship and stuff like that was really paramount. But I absolutely love the character of Michael Burnham too. But long story longer with that, I think that, you can have Pike and from what Strange New Worlds has provided so far, taking away like the Discovery kind of prelude that we had with that, Strange New Worlds to me so far through these 2 episodes hasn't done anything to kind of, to shit on the original series as far as, drastically changing canon or anything like that. I know that there's a debate between like, the representation of canonical figures or classic figures, Spock, Uhura, people that we've seen in the future represented in Strange New Worlds. And I just don't have enough of a basis yet to be able to say yes or no or anything like that. For my money, it's very difficult. You're not going to be able to like top performances, and I wouldn't expect that. I look at performances of the same character, like for instance, what is his name? Peck, Ethan Peck, I think is Spock in Strange New Worlds. He and Leonard Nimoy are completely different. In my mind, I'm like comparing them. They're different productions. Like if you had an actor that was 2 actors were playing Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, you look at it, the character, but the performances are going to be different. You can appreciate or not like each character, without kind of addressing the character of Juliet. It's more the performance. So that's what I'm looking at, as far as these kind of canonical figures that have come forward and, are represented now in Strange New Worlds. But this was a very interesting look at, I'm really digging how they're doing this. And someone did tell me, they were like, yeah, with Strange New Worlds, you get sort of like the, we're explorers, we're finding the unknown, we're doing these types of things. And I really hope that's the bent, because this is the type of episode that I really like, where it's like, you science the shit out of stuff. There's a mystery, there's a conflict, there's a, an absolute, palpable tension, because of certain things. There's always a time constraint in Star Trek. We have, cosmic rays that, with the injection of 2 hours, and then the shields are up, and how do we get them out? They're great stuff, great problems to have. I'm really curious to see how they spin this. I want to see new stuff. I want to see, like, take me on different adventures, take me on things I haven't seen before. And if Strange New Worlds can do that, I am all in, because I appreciate these characters. I like the way the story's being told. My one biggest complaint about the original series has nothing to do with the original series as far as it was constructed, because it was a matter of the time, is that it was episodic and not serialized. I would have loved to have seen, and I think we all would have, but it wasn't what they did in the 60s. And for obvious reasons, but I would have loved to have seen, I mean, I can still selfishly say I would have loved to have seen the original series in this type of Strange New Worlds format that was serialized, for one reason only. I really wish that the actors on the original series had been able to build off of things that had happened in the past, in a prior episode or a prior, mission or whatnot. I think it would have led to the actors being able to really develop like relationships that had substance and factual references. And even if it wasn't mentioned, it would give, Bill Shatner, DeForest Kelley, and people like that actual things to kind of like, how would my character feel in this moment? Well, given, the past and things that happened, and they would have concrete kind of items to really kind of fuel their acting and fuel their scene work. And I just think it would have been really interesting to see how that went. But again, I know that they couldn't do that at the time because they wanted to make it accessible to new people coming in that didn't have to and that's the downfall of serialized storytelling. It's the same thing that comic books run into. There's no real entry point except for the first episode, because if you come in and you're 20 issues or 20 episodes deep into a storyline, it's going to be difficult for you. You're just going to wave off and be like, oh, I don't know what's going on. So, and that's sort of what happened whenever I was watching Strange New Worlds earlier. I'm looking at it going, oh, this is neat, but I have no context for it. I don't know where we are in a story. I'm looking to rectify all of that, friends, and I can't wait. Thank you all for joining me. If you could do me another favor before we leave here, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps the channel, and it alerts you next time we go live with Strange New Worlds or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to the Patreon is in the description. But friends, all that's then and this is now. And now it's time to say goodbye from Strange New Worlds. But where should we say goodbye from? Well, I was thinking about this one, and I say we say goodbye from the hallway of the Enterprise, one of my favorite places in the original series, where the life of the Enterprise can be seen, where its arteries are pumping, and you can see its crew members conducting the business of the Enterprise. It's my favorite organic shots in the original series. And in this moment, we hear a hum of a lovely tune as we walk, going about our own duties, conducting our own business aboard the Enterprise. And we pass by a cadet that has started to get quite a bit of renown. I think Uhura is her name. And as we pass by and hear this lovely music, we make eye contact, smile, and nod, because we're crewmates, friends, and this voyage is just beginning. Until we meet again, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.